All right, man. We back in the building. Another week, another dollar, man. KBV Sports, Prep Talk Weekly. Back in the building with the guys, man. What's going on?
Yes, sir. What's going on, everybody?
Yo. And as you can see, man, we have another special guest this week. FSU commit, Fletcher star linebacker, man, Mr. Aaron Hester. What's going on, Aaron?
What's up, man? Happy to be here. Let's roll.
Awesome. We happy to have you, man, for sure. So first things first, before we get into the individual stuff and talk about everything you got going on, let's talk about your team, Fletcher. I know you guys went 6-3 last year, right? And
Right.
not exactly how you guys wanted to finish. Just talk about kind of how you guys have transitioned into that year. Now you have a new head coach and Coach Faison. So just talk about kind of Coach Faison's message to you guys this year and kind of how y'all carried that in the spring.
Yeah, well, we lost a lot of seniors, but we can't make excuses. We're real happy to have Coach C back. He like family at the beat, so we're rolling with it. I think we look pretty good. I'm happy for it. I'm just excited.
Awesome. So you guys actually played Reigns in the spring game, right?
We did.
Okay. How do you guys kind of feel like the spring game went for you? I know you were back there causing havoc, but
Yeah.
just talk about your team
but
as a whole, man.
I think we did pretty good. Offense struggled a little bit, but having to put in a new offense, everything completely new. They are probably gonna struggle. Defense, we always do our thing, but now we got a whole new thing again, so we're having to adjust again. But I feel like that game went pretty good for us to be so young, pretty much everywhere.
Okay. Definitely. I don't know if you guys wanted to piggyback on that, but okay, cool. All right, so let's talk about what Aaron's been up to this offseason, man. So since last year, kind of what's been your routine? Like, where are you training at? What was your routine this spring since the offseason?
I got a personal trainer. I've been working on my explosiveness and my quickness. It's not.
Okay.
I feel like what's not gonna help me is not really being the strongest guy in the room, but the quickest, most explosive, especially on this level. I got the strength. I got the brute strength to really put somebody in the ground, but it's my quickness, my feet. I've been working on that a lot more. Jumping out the weight room, jumping out the gym, stuff like that.
That's awesome, man. Shout out your personal trainer, man. Give him some love. Who you training with?
Bruce Kennedy.
Okay, awesome. Bruce Kennedy.
Jaden Kennedy is his dad.
Right. Awesome. All right, so giving him some love. Again, I was actually at the Seminole Showcase, man. So I got a chance to, which is weird. I'm in the city, man. This was actually my first time being able to see you in person, and it was just talk about the Seminoles. First off, even before that, man, we know you committed to Florida State in January, right?
Right.
Just kind of talk about what went into that decision. I know you've talked about it before, but just kind of talk about what went into this decision, and then I'll kind of piggyback off of that.
Well, it really came down to FSU and Miami. I didn't want to go far from home. You see that, obviously. So,
yeah,
it really came down to Manny Diaz and Mike Norvell. But Miami.
Don't tell Desmond that. Desmond's he's a Kane fan, man. That's terrible.
Man. Yeah, I was about to say, what was the difference between the two that made you?
Y'all ended up having a coaching change, and I was ready to lock in a place somewhere. That all this COVID stuff. So I decided to go with FSU. I'm a legacy. My dad played there.
Of course.
I feel like they treat me like family, so I figured it was time to go ahead and lock in.
Yeah. So you talk about the coaching change with Coach Jess Simpson on the D-line coach?
Yeah, exactly. I forgot the other one's name, but he was an older guy.
Yeah.
He texts me all the time. Then he got moved to an advisor. So,
yeah, he kind of more of an off-the-field role, most definitely. Yeah, so that definitely makes sense. And I mean, watching your tape, watching your film, you remind me of another Jacksonville, the FSU guy, and DeMarcus Walker, who came, was able to play at Florida State. So, what's some of the guys that you look forward to, kind of patting your game after, whether this is your technique or somebody just really tuning into to build your skill set?
Yeah, definitely Khalil Mack. Just like my height, my build, 6'3".
Yeah,
like 230. I'll probably be 250 when I top out.
Yeah.
So, his aggression. He also got some technique to it. Now he ain't just big and can't move. That's who I model myself after.
Most definitely. That's awesome. So some of the things, like you said, working on that explosion. What else, kind of from a mental aspect, have you been working on? To really kind of take your game to that next level as you get ready for college.
I really feel like my focus off the field, preparing for my game days before. Focus doesn't start on Friday at 7:30 at kickoff. Focus starts on Monday when you first enter into school, before you even get to practice. Hydration, eating right, stretching, sleeping right, all those things, they take a factor. I've been working on that. It's a mental game, I feel like.
Yeah, so tapping more into the mental side and really kind of thinking about the game early before you even kind of get to that standpoint. So that's good. So what are some also kind of personal goals that you got for yourself within that? Kind of building off that. So what's some of your personal goals that you got for yourself for this season? Kind of building off of that after you put the preparation in mentally, physically. So what's some of the goals that you want to kind of push towards after stacking those things?
10 plus sacks, 100 plus tackles, all of that.
That's a start.
Yeah. So it'd be hard when you get a double team, but shoot, dogs play through it. It is what it is, man. Let's roll.
Yes, sir. I hear that.
Let me chime in real quick, Aaron. I wanted to ask you, as being a son of a former NFL player, I kind of have a little experience with that. Not quite as you being on a college level, but tell me about growing up in that environment and how that kind of made you a better player.
So, I feel like it's excellence expected in everything you do. You don't do 10 push-ups, you do 20. You outwork the rest, and you do it off the field in the classroom. You get your grades right. It's really everything. How you treat people, how you talk to people. You know what I mean? My dad has definitely taught me how to do that. I still got more to learn, but, I feel like he taught me if you're going to do something, do it right and do it well.
All right. And also, did that also help you in your college decision? I know you brought it up a little briefly earlier, but being with that legacy, going to Florida State, and also the legacy of great defensive linemen, what do you kind of expect from yourself going into Florida State after you graduate or after 3 years?
Shoot, we want to win the national championship, baby. It's going to take some work, but we want to. I want to be a team player, do whatever I can my freshman year. I may not get on the field at the end, but I'll play special teams. I'll do whatever. I want to bring FSU back.
And also, real quick, do you have a pipeline to get in touch with any of the former Florida State defensive linemen, guys like DeMarcus Walker or Chad Thomas or guys like that?
Yeah, so I talk to him. I talk to pretty much everybody. It's so cool how they give me some insight about everything I want to know. That really helps a lot.
Yep. Once to know, always know.
Right.
But so I want to go back to the Seminole Showcase, man, and kind of just piggyback on what you said about how your decision kind of came down to the two coaches, Manny Diaz and Mike Norvell. I was at the Seminole Showcase. I was in the meeting with y'all, and kind of this is really insight that nobody really knows. A lot of people don't know personally about Mike Norvell is that, especially at the showcase, is he wasn't actually trying to sell you guys on Florida State, right? He actually gave his own players. He said, you know what? I'm not going to try to sell you on it. I'm going to tell my players, let y'all ask my players questions and let them tell you the real. You know what I mean?
In the media room.
Exactly. So, and he told them to be brutally honest and y'all ask whatever y'all want to ask. To me, man, that spoke volumes because, it wasn't him trying to. With him, it's pretty much you get what you see is what you get. You know what I mean? And he kind of walks in that way. So, just talk about kind of how your visit at the Seminole Showcase was from that aspect, and kind of hearing the players talk about how the program is now.
Right. It's always love when I go to FSU. They treat you like family. But when we were in that meeting, I feel like it's real. It's real talk. It ain't everything that you want to hear, which recruiting can be sometimes. I had coaches in all types of schools tell me everything that I wanted to hear. But in the back of my mind, I know that's not facts. I know I probably can't play as much as I want to my freshman year. Some things are probably not true, but when we got to talk to those players and they spit it to us real, it shows that Coach Norvell was being real himself. I appreciate that. They always kept it real.
That's amazing, man. That's awesome. I had a great time while I was there. It was awesome getting to get to walk on the field, all that stuff, man. You just really you kind of when you're in that atmosphere, bro, and they playing that war chant, you just kind of, you know what I mean? You ain't got no choice but to just feel it for real.
Sir, it was hot that day, though. Oh my goodness.
Oh my gosh, it was burning.
We had to walk around the campus. Oh my goodness.
And it was scorching when y'all were doing on-field stuff. I got a chance. got some video, man. I have to share with you that I took of with you guys and Coach Higgins and everything. Just talk about Coach Higgins, man, and kind of what he's gonna mean to you. You know what I mean? Being a pass rusher at Florida State and all the wealth of knowledge that he has.
So well, he teaches. He has experience. You know that's one to none. I feel like with everything that he has. You know, with my dad. And you know, a lot of coaches don't have that. To be honest, you know, he gonna tell you if you straight, if you're not, and you know, kept it real with me since I was real little. You know what I mean? Yeah. I've been knowing him since I was little. So you know, to have that relationship and to continue to build, and for me to actually play at FSU, that's a lot. You know what I mean? So I'm expecting a lot out of him. He expecting a lot out of me. You know, let's do it.
That's amazing. And last I kind of wanted to get into before we let you go is obviously you have a game coming up this week. It's week 1, right? It's time to get to it. It's kind of cement that senior legacy, right? What do you guys feel about the matchup with Sandalwood and kind of obviously they got Chris Calhoun, a mobile quarterback, right? So it's not going to be that stand in the pocket quarterback, and you know, just talk about that challenge for you guys and how you feel you match up with that game.
We definitely respect them. You know, everybody talk about a rivalry. We got respect for our opponent. We know what they capable of. They know what we capable of. So it's gonna be a great matchup. You know, we study hard. They probably studying hard. Everybody preparing. So it's gonna be a great game. I'm loving. I'm ready to play.
Definitely. I don't know if you guys had anything on that, Marcus.
Yeah. One more thing. You know, Aaron, it seemed like you got a real good head on your shoulders. It seemed like you really know exactly what you want and how you want to obtain that. But just on the school side, what do you plan on taking up in school as far as a major?
I want to become an engineer. I like math and science, combining the two. It's my two favorite things. Big money in it too.
Nah, I just gotta say big money.
Yeah, big money.
Yeah, FSU got a great engineering program with it. We combine with that the FAMU FSU thing they got.
And you can take classes at FAMU.
At FAMU, exactly. Yeah, with having that connection. So that's a great choice, a smart decision. And being in Tallahassee, I'm sure also had to swing in that. Yeah, there's a lot of fun up there.
If you can't, so you got if you didn't know, you got a FSU alum and you got a FAMU alum. So you know what I mean. You with family here, man.
FAMU school attendee, not alum. School attendee.
But definitely, man, Aaron, it's been a pleasure talking to you, man. We don't want to take too much of your time, but it's been a pleasure. We're gonna make a movie. We're gonna shoot a movie for y'all on Friday. We'll have all the highlights, man, interviews and things like that. So we're looking forward to seeing you play and a great matchup on Friday night.
Yes, sir. Thank you. I appreciate it.
No problem.
Good luck out there.
Good luck, Aaron. Appreciate it.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Appreciate you.
All right. That was the man, Mr. Aaron Hester, man. That was a awesome interview. Great kid, man. Great kid. First time meeting Aaron. I actually obviously saw him at the Seminole Showcase a few weeks back. And I'll tell you, man, like everything that he's saying from a weight. If you see him like at field level, and you guys will see it on Friday. Aaron he's built, man. He's a put together guy. You can tell he's got that NFL, you know what I mean, bloodlines, lineage. You know what I mean. He looks the part for sure. I'm excited, man. Just with the explosion. I've heard so much about Aaron, and I haven't unfortunately I haven't had a chance to see him in person play, and I'm telling you guys, I'm really excited to see the game, especially and see Chris Calhoun. I haven't had a chance to see him play really in person, and some of those guys at Sandalwood. So really pumped for that game, man.
Yeah.
Is there any games you guys are looking forward to this week that you've kind of circled?
I mean, kind of ones we've been talking about,
right,
with that one, and then also the Rickers and Parchment game. So I mean, it's kicking off pretty good.
Yeah.
A lot of games going on, and even all around Florida, really.
Yeah,
a lot of good games down south as well. A lot of teams going, so it's great to have football back. Great to be back in football.
Oh my gosh, man! It's been. I feel spoiled now, man. It's time to go. I see them. I thought I saw something that American Heritage has a ESPN game this week. Is that right?
No,
Could be wrong. I think they do. They're playing somebody on ESPN. I think from Texas or something like that. But just to throw that out there, that's notable. Other games around the city, man. You got Atlantic Coast Mandarin. Obviously, that's a rivalry game. So I'm pretty sure that'll be a hard fought game as well. Really looking to see what AC is going to do this year, man. It's been Coach Mike Monemeyer a couple years in building there. So I think it's kind of time for them to start winning. You know what I mean? This year. I mean, what you're 3 years there now. So I think it's time for them to start winning. I think that's a realistic expectation to have a winning record, right? So looking forward to that. Obviously, Bobby Ramsey he brings his team. It don't matter. He's gonna bring his team every week. They always play hard. He's got some really good players there. They're young, man, but I feel like for the Mandarin Mustangs, they're young, but I feel like you're gonna start to hear recruit this next recruiting cycle. You're gonna start to hear a lot of names that coming out of Mandarin, man, because they got some talent in the backfield, some young running backs.
And the receivers been getting a lot of love too. I know.
Man, they got receivers. Right, yeah, they got receivers. They got like a kid named Jamie French, freshman. I think he's playing cornerback. He's already got offers from Georgia Tech, just off the camp. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Not even playing a play yet. So they always seem to keep some talent, man, over at Mandarin. So I'm excited to see them. Let's talk a little bit about obviously get into Jaguars ball a little bit. Kind of dismal, man. A very, very depressing, dismal game on Monday night, right? Jameis, I was honestly, I was down. I was sad for the Jaguars, but I was so happy, man, just being a Florida State fan, seeing Jameis slinging that pigskin around the yard, man. And he really seems, and this might just be me, man, but Jameis really seems like he's kind of seeing, he looks a lot more comfortable. You know what I mean? He doesn't have the happy feet, you know what I mean? That just trying to make something happen. Like the man saw the field. Like I haven't seen him see the field in the NFL, like in that game. He was decisive. I think I saw him look off a safety one time. I was like, Jameis ain't looking many people off. That man was throwing picks.
Yeah. And I mean, then the LASIK surgery that he had. So, you know, it's obviously looking like that definitely has helped. We don't see the squinting on the sidelines anymore. But the biggest thing for me that you know, I talked about it a little bit earlier in the offseason, but he's with offensive genius, you know, with Sean Payton. So, you know, the last time he was with the offensive genius was Florida State when he was with Jimbo. And those are two of my all-time favorite play callers. They know the game of football. No matter who the quarterback is, they're going to get production out of the offense. And they just find ways to create mismatches and make the quarterback successful. And you saw that with Jameis. I mean, you know, I think he was 8 for 9 at one point, you know, with 2 touchdowns. So he's very accurate, very decisive. Sean Payton's going to put him in a position to succeed. And he's a 27-year-old number one pick, Heisman Trophy winner.
He could be there for another 10 years.
Yeah, and one of 9 quarterbacks to throw for 5,000 yards in a season. You know, so it's the talent is there. It isn't a question. And when you saw
him throw that deep ball, you were like, "Oh, okay." This is Jameis." Okay.
Look, guys, I'll say one thing, and I agree with most of you guys' points about Jameis. Like, I'm thoroughly impressed by how he's looking, but let's all put it in perspective. They were the Jaguars.
Oh yeah, I mean, but even the week before against my Ravens,
the first touchdown should have been picked. Realistically, it had double.
Which one? The deep ball? The post?
The first one.
I mean, I
thought he threw it out in front of him.
It was a very good ball, but I believe that safety, if he played it a little better, he could have came over and picked it.
Because that was really the backside. Yeah, the backside guy, he came late, but it was really the play call because he could have hit the underneath dig route as well.
Appreciate you.
Coming underneath or the post. So I think he I think he identified it correctly. He was able to go to where he needed to go. And I'm excited, honestly. And then, like I said, even a week before against the Ravens number 1 defense, he threw a touchdown pass as well. Again, he moved the offense down. He had an interception, but it was more of a tip. It wasn't really his fault per se. But he was able to move the offense down. He threw another touchdown. Because for me in preseason, if you're a quarterback, you got to be able to score touchdowns in the preseason.
Exactly.
If you can't score touchdowns in the preseason, it's going to be really tough to do it in the regular season, which kind of brings us back to the Jaguars and with Trevor Lawrence. Because for me to not score, some of those, he was very risky with some of those throws.
It's tough.
He kind of got
Yeah.
away with. Should have had probably 2 interceptions that he threw it straight to Williams at one time. I mean, I'm a little nervous on because again at Clemson he had the best talent. You know, he was throwing the wide open guys. He had Travis.
He had time to throw.
Yeah, he had time to throw. He had the the 3-time ACC Player of the Year in the backfield with Travis Etienne, who really carried the load a lot of times. A lot of times on third down, it went to Travis. So you know now it's all on Trevor. I don't know how he's really going to be able to succeed within that. I
definitely agree with you there. Like his performances both of them have been pretty like lackluster from my opinion. He did some better things. Obviously, you like to see them get in the end zone. Right. Yeah. The difference that I see with Trevor is that he took an unnecessary sack, holding the ball too long. I think a lot of that is though the reason he's holding the ball is they're not open. They're not open. They're not getting open.
That's the biggest concern.
He's holding the ball, hoping for something to happen because he's so used to making a play. He's not used to throwing the ball away. Where you ever seen Trevor Lawrence throw the ball away?
On 4 or 5 straight passes, he was throwing to Marvin Jones.
Right.
Yeah.
No.
Like, where's Laviska? Where's Dorsett? I'm like, nobody's in the picture for nothing.
I'm gonna tell you right now. They have to scheme plays for Laviska. The man is.
They have to get him in motion. He has to do a motion.
Yeah.
Or
they had to burn a timeout. He didn't even know one of the play calls. They had to burn a timeout for Laviska not knowing what to do.
You know what's also what's concerning to me, and also it's a bright spot in a way, is you're starting to see Tavon Austin come on, man. You're starting to see Tavon kind of like do things that you thought he would do when he came into the league, right? Mm-hmm. He's running the routes, he's getting open. Every time he got on the field, the man he gets open. Mm-hmm. And Urban Meyer even said like that man's like he gives me life. He's my, you know what I mean? He's an energy.
The only one that got juice.
Right, he got juice. So like I think it would be so hard, and it's so weird to say because they signed him so late in camp, but I mean, you almost need him on the field to get separation, like in the slot.
You need a tight end. Jaguars have no tight end. I don't know why you don't go get Zach Ertz. Just all these tight ends that I hear that you can really go get.
That's what I'm trying to figure.
I don't understand.
I feel like he has to, like Urban Meyer kind of needs to wake up a little bit. Like, dude, see the deficiencies on the roster. What did the Rams go do? They have a deficiency on the roster. They went and got a running back. Mm-hmm. Sony Michel is gonna tote that pill for them, dog, easily.
One good quarterback doesn't have a good tight end. You can look all the way down the NFL from Tom Brady on down. You got Gronkowski,
doesn't have two good tight ends,
or two. You know, you got Travis Kelce with Mahomes. You got Mark Andrews with Lamar. You got all these quarterbacks that have a good tight end.
Free agency.
Yeah, it's you know, look at what they just did for Matt Ryan and when it got Kyle Pitts. You need a good tight end when you're your quarterback.
And from what I hear, it's going to be hard to keep Mac Jones off the field.
Yeah,
they said that man was diamond in against the Giants starting defense.
Mm-hmm. And they went and got two. Yeah, like you said, they went and got two tight ends. You need a good tight end. That's integral, especially for a young quarterback. Because that's going to be their best friends on third downs. Derek Carr and Darren Waller. I mean, I can't think of a good quarterback that doesn't have a good tight end. You rarely ever see it.
The easy way to defend Jacksonville right now, fucking double Marvin and 8 men in the box.
They say you don't have to what are you guarding with Jacksonville? What are you really scared of?
Exactly. You're not scared on third downs.
You're not scared of James Robinson. James Robinson can't even get to the edge. I think it's gonna be a rough year for James Robinson. We're gonna realize, oh man, he's just an average running back who can't do much else if the hole's not wide open.
He had a great season last year. But
he had a great season because he was running through. Let's be honest, he was running through craters. Like they were open. You know what I mean? He had open holes.
They want you to.
I think he's a tick above average. I think he's one of the more physical running backs.
Yeah,
and I think he had the most yards from scrimmage ever by undrafted players.
He finished his runs, but the thing about him is like they tried to run him on and this is when I know something had to be wrong with Etienne. Is when they gave him a stretch. I was like, you giving this man a stretch to the sideline?
It needs to be dive, power, ISO, duo. He needs. I think
you need to find a backup running back. Travis Hyde didn't show me, or Carlos Hyde didn't show me anything.
He's a worse version of.
He looks terrible.
He's old.
And they don't have a third down back.
Why the Jaguars didn't go get Sony right after Travis going down? Why would you not go get Sony Michel if he's available? Why is he not? He should have been the addition. I mean,
all these good players out there that you could go grab for nothing.
You could have went and got James. You could have went and got James White for
I mean, it's too many.
They would have gave him up for probably a 6th rounder.
Come on.
So I think if not getting Zach Ertz when he's readily available, I think is a great mistake.
You could go get Trey Burton. Even if you don't want to get Zach Ertz, you could go get Trey Burton, bro.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, you need somebody on third downs to move the chain.
And we see some people are watching out there, man. If you guys have something to say on this, please comment, man, and we'll play your comment on the screen. What's your guys' opinion, man, on the Jaguars right now? I mean, I was kind of harsh. I was really harsh on them on Monday just because I was really kind of disappointed. I was disappointed in Urban kind of looking out of place, man. The dude looked really just
so
out of
nonchalant.
He looked nonchalant. He looked out of place. He looked like he didn't. Once it didn't work, he looked like he was disappointed it didn't work and he didn't have an answer. What the heck is Darrell Bevel doing right now? What is he doing?
Needs to be fired.
He doesn't have Russell Wilson. That might be what's wrong.
What's the D coordinator?
Ad-libbing.
What's the D coordinator doing?
What is Joe Cullen doing? Joe Cullen don't know how to coach DBs or put them in the right place, man.
I was about to say it was the DBs. You can't play press man if you don't have those corners. You can't
play decent without sacks, of course, but they're holding up against the run. I mean, that's it.
But they're playing press man, and you don't got the corner. Shaq Griffin was getting killed.
All the guy was doing was running a freaking.
You're letting an undrafted free agent
get money on you. First quarter, get money on you. I was like, oh my gosh, man! What? 2 touchdowns?
And Rayshon Jenkins was nowhere in the picture for none of them touchdowns. I'm like,
I mean, he's a strong safety. I mean, it's going to be tough. I think I don't know if the Jags plan to kind of go back down the draft and rebuilding process because as the roster's currently constructed, they're not a team that's going to be able to win many football games. I mean, you really kind of mix and match within your secondary, and then offensive line still is trying to figure themselves out because it was still not enough to really.
What happened with Cam Robinson? Did he start?
They said he sprained his ankle, like I think in warm-ups or something.
So he didn't play at all.
No, he didn't play at all.
And then Walker Little, Walker Little looked like how I told y'all he looked at Stanford. He looked soft.
Yeah, he didn't look good at all.
He looked soft.
And it wasn't going against Cam Jordan.
No.
Exactly.
Marcus Davenport looked like he about to eat this year, though.
Yeah, he looks really good.
That boy was.
He looks like a first round pick.
He was bench pressing him with one arm into the quarterback.
Looks like a first round pick for sure.
I mean, good against the run, I guess. You hang your hat on that, okay? Hey,
but it's gonna be tough. I think they need to. And
it's gonna be a long season. No pass rush.
How did y'all feel about the whole Urban Meyer calling Joe Burrow about Trevor Lawrence? That blew my mind. So I'm like, Joe Burrow is still technically a rookie. He hasn't played 16 games. So why would that be the person
Joe,
that
Hey Joe, how did it feel to be sacked and tear your ACL?
Well, exactly. What do you really have to ask Joe Burrow, who still has yet to prove himself? It blew my mind. I'm like, Urban don't know what the hell he's doing right now.
He losing me, dog.
He's losing a lot of people that probably aren't in the building. They starting to doubt him a little bit. Like, dude, you made a string of very bad decisions. You have not coached in a while, and you've been on TV. Like you look like you've been on TV. You know how to talk well, but the shit don't look good on the field.
Why would you not call Drew Brees, who's retired, who's been through it? Who's been to the Chargers practice, the 49ers? I seen him at like 4 or 5 practices so far. Why would you not call somebody like that who's an established veteran who's looking to help? You're gonna call Joe Burrow?
One thing about it though is you're gonna start to see a shift though with him to where I think he's trying. I think right now he's not going with his urge to just like switch shit up. You know what I'm saying? Because I think he's listening to like some of his like NFL guys, like, hey, just get, you got to be patient. We just need a little bit more work. They're going to come around. Urban don't lose. He don't like to lose, bro. Nowhere. He don't like to lose. And so it's going to be hard for him to like you know what I mean,
Again,
be status
you
quo.
don't have the best talent.
Exactly.
I mean, at Florida, he had the best talent. At Ohio State, he had the best talent. When you don't have that anymore, and honestly, that's why I think
you can't go recruit. You can't go recruit.
You can't go recruit, and you don't have this 5-star, this transfer coming in that's going to change everything. That's why I think Nick Saban's staying where he's at. He's fine with it. He understands it. When you don't, and now is about how well you can coach, manage your team, manage your coordinators, game plan, and execute is a totally different ball game. I mean.
And to go back to your Nick Saban point, Nick Saban was 7-9, 8-8 in his season, and those are pretty successful. Like they're not playoff seasons, but those are pretty successful.
That ain't get you fired seasons. You know what I'm saying?
But that goes to your point of you could be the best coach all you want, but if you don't have the players, it doesn't mean jack. It
doesn't matter.
What do you guys? On another note, what do you guys think about Joey Gatewood transferring again to UCF back to Gus Malzahn, who didn't give him a starting job at Auburn?
That's kind of weird, but I mean, Gus must love the guy. Want to bring him back. Well, not bring him back, but bring him back to UCF.
I find that really
Tate Martell vibes.
It's very weird. It's very weird.
I got Tate Martell vibes.
And then you got beat out a second time
in Kentucky, and Kentucky doesn't have
no
quarterback. Like,
and I don't even know who they're starting ahead of him. I've never heard of that guy.
A wide receiver.
Looks like to me he's one of those look like Tarzan.
He has all
he doesn't play like it. Yeah. He looks great. He's first off the bus. That's what you want to look at. But
All-American.
But he doesn't make good decisions with the ball. Mm-hmm. He's going to have to change positions, I think, if he wants to get on the field. He needs to put on maybe another 15 pounds and go play tight end.
Tight end, yeah.
That could be another
player.
Logan Thomas.
Yeah.
Make the transition.
And Logan Thomas was a starter.
Yeah,
he's a quality starting tight end in the NFL now.
Yeah, I mean, but he even started at Virginia Tech, at quarterback. So for you to, you better hurry up and make your decision quick.
Because you see with Tebow. Yeah, I mean, obviously you waited.
If you're just joining us, we're talking about Joey Gatewood transferring from Kentucky after losing the quarterback job. What do you local kid, Bartram Trail guy? What are you guys' thoughts on that? I mean, for me, if you're listening, please comment if you have any thoughts on that. But just for me, it's
very weird.
It's just like, the transferring thing shows me like you can't handle competition. To me, when you transfer for the first time, I say, okay, maybe
everybody deserves one.
Yeah, maybe it's the system, maybe whatever didn't work out for you. You maybe felt the coach was being a homer, whatever. Okay, transfer. You're there all season. You play like what? He only played like one or two games last year for them.
The last 2 or 3.
Played against Georgia, didn't play well. But yeah, like the last 2 games of the season.
Didn't play good.
And then in the spring, they pretty much pegged him as the guy the whole spring. Like he was the guy. He was in all their marketing and everything. And then boom,
lost the job.
I thought for sure he was going to be their starter this year. I hadn't even heard anything about the kid who Mark Stoops named. So I don't know, man. Maybe something Mark Stoops. I don't know. Maybe Mark Stoops knows something that nobody else knows. I doubt it because he hasn't won in Kentucky.
Gabriel.
What's that?
If the defensive head coach doesn't think you're the guy, that says to me that screams volumes.
Yeah,
when you're a defensive, because then it's like, I'm probably killing you at practice. You probably can't do nothing against the defense. You look terrible. Yeah, we're not going to go with that because if I see this, I know other defensive coordinators going to see it, and we won't have a chance to win. So that screams volumes. Yeah. That screams volumes. But he's with Gus. I think Gus at this point is going to take any kind of talent he can get being at UCF. When you get a perceived, SEC type talent coming to UCF, you're going to take it all day long. He's trying to bounce back, but I don't think Gus is going to be there that long. So
we'll Gus is there for a filler 2 years, and
they're waiting on somebody
to stay back around.
Yeah, 2 years go to a BCS.
Yeah, he doing the what's his name? What's the Ole Miss head coach?
Hugh Freeze.
Kiffin. He's doing the Kiffin thing. Go down to Florida school, look good real quick, recruit and win a lot of games, and then you can get back to the SEC.
Hot take. Jimbo Fisher. I wouldn't be surprised to see him in the playoff this year. Maybe it's not. Maybe it's not a hot take. I don't know.
Big time. I mean, the Marvin Lill, their defensive end, he's been first team All American on everything. So is their tight end, Jalen Weidemeyer. He's been first team All American. They're both So to me, Jimbo.
They got Demas. They got Demas at wide receiver.
They're good. He's talented. He's a great recruiter. He's to me probably the best offensive play calling head coach in the country. So I always felt like the biggest mistake FSU made was letting him go. You can't.
I think Haynes King, the quarterback they have now, I think he's a former 4-star, 5-star kid.
Yeah.
Great. I think he has a better arm than Mon had, and he's probably just about as mobile. Just about as mobile.
Quarterbacks, like I said, Jimbo's like Sean Payton. They get production out of their quarterbacks. No matter who it is, they're going to find a way to get production out of you.
And he's a redshirt freshman, so you got longevity. He'll probably be there for at least 2 or 3 years, right? So you got sustainability. He's built the program. The program is his at this point. It's not Kevin Sumlin's holdovers. It's his program now. So
and his recruits.
Yeah, and he's pulling 5 stars like it's nothing. I wouldn't be surprised if he got Shamar Stewart. I wouldn't.
Yeah, that's where he's. I saw that interview about what Shamar said as well, that he's loving him. I mean, the facility's great. Their stadium holds over 100,000. They're in Texas. They got all the money that they can even imagine to have. So I think Jimbo's going to do really well. I mean, and even I saw this the other day. The year Florida State won the national championship, they averaged 51 points a game that year. That's 51. That's ridiculous.
And you don't associate them like an Oregon offense. Like
you don't even think of them, but they put up points like that. They averaged 51 points.
It's a sick squad. Just go back and examine that squad from offense to defense.
You couldn't stop them from scoring. You could not stop them from scoring. No matter who it was, no matter if they was down at halftime. There's been plenty of times Jameis threw 2-3 picks in the first half. They down 14. And you just cannot stop them from scoring for 4 quarters. Jimbo's just too good as a play caller. So I think he's going to transition over to Texas A&M. I'm excited for him. That's one team. Like you said. I think that's the dark horse for playoffs this year. As far as being somebody who can take out like Georgia, I can see them beating Georgia.
I could see. Jimbo's actually been playing. He plays Alabama good every year now. And so Jimbo like, hey, let's square up. We'll go toe to toe with y'all, and he's been able to do it. Sooner or later, you're gonna go toe to toe, and you're gonna beat him.
Go beat him, 100%.
So once Texas A&M beats Bama, I think then you start looking at maybe that shift. Jimbo's always been able to do this.
It's gonna shift like that.
Jimbo. If there's anybody that can shift the paradigm in the SEC, it's Jimbo.
Yeah, he can do it. He's going to do it before Kirby.
Jimbo says, you know what? We're going to go up. We're going to kick Bama in the teeth and show them we're here now. I built this program. I'm here now. I'm Jimbo Fisher, and shift. And he knows how to recruit. So, Saban's always been able to sit back and I'm gonna get my 5 stars, and them boys gonna come in. I'm gonna send the coach out there. I'll give him the old picture in the office. Show him the award trophies. You know what I'm saying? But Jimbo coming now, and I think
Jimbo got that too. He won it. I mean, Jimbo was Nick Saban's coordinator at LSU.
Yeah,
with Jamarcus Russell when they won the national championship.
The only really successful coordinator that did anything after leaving it, because he's a great coach. Nick said it himself, like that's probably the best offensive mind and coordinator I probably ever had or been around. If you guys are just joining us, man, we're just talking a little bit of college football talk. Kind of looking at the outlook on Texas A&M and Jimbo Fisher, kind of maybe taking that next step in the SEC this year. Dan Mullen, I mean, what do you guys think? Just while we're in the SEC, what do you guys think, Dan Mullen? What's the next step for Florida and Dan Mullen? Do they have the defense to compete this year? They always have offense. It's never been a problem for Dan Mullen.
I think it may be a slight issue with the offense because they lost superstars last year. I mean, losing Kyle Pitts, that's probably the best tight end in the last at least probably 10 years, maybe. If
you guys are watching, chime in, man. I know we got some Florida Gator fans watching right now.
But let me say
Tony.
Let me say this about Dan Mullen. He's the most. y'all tell me if I'm wrong. He's the most underrated coach in college football.
Yeah, I can give him that.
In my opinion. Just look down the line of his resume from offensive coordinator under Herbs. Then you get Mississippi State, got Dak Prescott.
I have a question. When you say underrated, how is he underrated? I feel like he's in the SEC. He's at Florida. He has every opportunity to be successful. I don't know if I buy the underrated thing.
Well, I say underrated as far as how he
runs the game you normally hear when you talk about top coaches. I would say
exactly like I would put him in a maybe not the same lane as Jimbo Fisher, but he's definitely on the same street as Jimbo Fisher as far as play calling, as far as what he gets from an offense. And no, I don't think he's going to be that.
I can go with that. I
don't think he'll ever be that coach that gets you over the top. Like I'll never put him in a natty situation. Like he might get you to the playoffs and stuff like that. But
I think last year was the year.
Last year was the year to go to the playoffs.
Was the year to do it. I think the defense let him down. I mean, he took Kyle Trask, who was a career backup even in high school.
All he had to do was beat A&M.
And to being a starting quarterback who played very well against Alabama. They played really well as a team, especially offensively against Alabama. I mean, if the defense didn't let him down, I think last year would have been the year where they kind of take that next step. That's why I think this year is going to be interesting because you got a new quarterback with Emory Jones, who now has to run it full time. He hasn't really done that. He's been kind of the gadget guy. And then you replace him, trying to replace Kyle Pitts, replacing Kadarius Toney, replacing Grimes, Siobhan Grimes. I mean, it's a lot of production you're replacing on that offensive side of the ball. You got a lot of running backs now. DeMarcus Bowman transfer, Lorenzo Lingard, another transfer from Miami. So you got a good collection of running backs.
I think the defense is the strength of their team. If you look at their defense, they probably got they got a lot of first round picks on the defense.
Your boy Kyer.
Kyer should be a first round pick.
He's gonna take a step up as a safety this year, I believe.
So you think he moved? Are they moving him to safety from corner or what? Wasn't he? I thought he was playing corner.
I want to see him play safety.
Okay.
I want to see.
I think he's a good corner though. I like the state. I like the state from last year.
He's a good corner, but I want to see him play safe. I kind of want to see him roaming around a little bit.
He's definitely better than his brother. I'll say that.
Definitely.
Maybe not.
Yeah.
Matt was better in college. Tyler's going to be the
first round pick.
Yeah, he was terrible in the league. He was just too small. Matt Elam was too small to be in the league.
Yeah.
He was too down.
I like Trevez Johnson in that star position. I think he plays that well. They kind of use him at nickel corner, or they'll kind of put him in the box as like a extra linebacker.
He's the next one.
Yeah, so I think
Jacob Copeland on offense. I think Jacob Copeland has to step up and really be that guy, that receiver this year, because there's been a lot of talk about Jacob Copeland. So I want to see if he can. He got the one though. You can't wear one at Florida offense or defense and not step up. That's just one of those numbers. Yeah, that's just one of those numbers where you just can't.
That's like the number 7 at LSU.
At LSU, you know what I'm saying? So it's like you can't wear that number and not be the guy. So
agreed.
I'm interested to see how he turns out.
But Florida's definitely. I would put Florida as one of those other playoff contenders. If Emory Jones could give you Dak-esque production like he did in Mississippi State, and Florida could be.
You think he could throw that well?
I have to see it. I haven't.
That's my concern.
Who's going to give you Dak-esque production?
Emory Jones. If he could give you 900 rushing yards and maybe I'll say 23 to 2,400 passing yards.
I think the only thing I like that thought. I think the only thing that's keeping Anthony Richardson off the field right now, in my opinion, is probably his accuracy, his deep ball accuracy.
He should be playing.
Yeah, he should. If all things are square and you're looking at him side to side, he's played better than Emory in the spring. And okay, but Dan Mullen's always been a guy who if you put in the time and you do it my way, I'm gonna at least give you a shot, right? So I think Emory's at least earned that shot, but it's not gonna be a long hook. If you're not getting it done, they're gonna put it. The dude, bro, have y'all seen Anthony Richardson lately? The man's like 6'4". He's probably like 240 now. Like, yo, huge.
He's just been sitting, waiting, bro.
And just been sitting, waiting, lifting weights, eating, doing whatever he's doing. He looks like
he looks
he looks the part. He looks the part. So I think that's what everyone was kind of talking about. Like, it's going to be hard to keep him off the field. If you're Emory, you better play up to Heisman level because it's going to be hard to keep him off the field. But so looking forward to that to kind of that part of it.
Alabama, Miami next week.
Yep. They were talking. I was listening to 1010 XL today. They were talking with Roman Harper, and he was kind of saying maybe Alabama's a little weak on defense this year. Maybe they don't have some of those bigger. They don't have any. They don't really have any linebackers, which is weird that you hang your hat on and you say, hey, that guy for sure. That he's the leader of their defense.
Well, they do got Toto from Tennessee.
Yeah.
They always
and then
I
like the other linebacker Jennings, I think it is. I like his tape too. I mean, to me, it's more so the secondary because the front seven, mostly all of those guys came back. For me, it's the secondary. You lose Pat Surtain. Is Josh Jobe your number one corner? I don't know. It's really going to be interesting.
I don't like him. He's number 20. He was number 28, right, Job?
Yeah, Job. Yeah, exactly. So
that man was
exactly. He's your number one now. So is Josh Jobe or number one? I don't think so. Who's your playmaking safety? Alabama usually keeps a really good safety. I don't know who that guy's going to be. Then on offense, you lost a lot of stuff.
They have who's the safety? Number 9. What's his name? It's on the tip of my tongue.
Yeah, I know you're talking about. He's pretty good. He's more of a kind of a downhill kind of guy. They don't really have no ball hawks back there. He's not Eddie Jackson or one of those guys. So.
There hasn't been an Eddie Jackson there in a long time. Roam the middle.
He's number 49 from back in the day, Johnson.
Yeah.
I got you.
So and then the offense, you lose 3 starters on the offensive line. You lose all your receivers. You lose Najee Harris, Mac Jones. You lost a lot of production. That was there for a long time. All those receivers. Najee was pretty much a 4-year starter. You lose all those receivers, and the Heisman Trophy winner with Javonte. So, and then Mac, Mac had some really good tape. Mac played very well last year. So, want to see if Bryce can come in, step in, and how does he start off? And then you got a new offensive coordinator too with Bill O'Brien. As well now that he Sarkisian's gone.
Time out.
If you hold on real quick, Mark. If you guys are just joining us, man, thanks for joining us. First off, we started off with our interview with Aaron Hester, the star FSU commit linebacker. Right now, we're just we're into a little bit of college football talk. We're currently they're going to look like we ran through Florida. Texas A&M's. We're in the SEC right now. If you guys have any comments, man, please give us a comment. Let us know what you're thinking. Give us a like, subscribe, share. We'd really appreciate it. Just want to put that in there. A little plug. Go ahead, Mark.
Hey, don't forget your thought, Desmond. How did Bill O'Brien get a job, bro? Like I just have to say this, bro, because
he's at Bama, right?
Yeah, offensive coordinator.
Nick Saban could purge these coaches, bro. Like, as soon as they get fired or let go, hey, come over here, bro.
Doug Marrone.
That boy getting
quality.
He's getting quality. He's getting quality. You're getting former NFL head coaches
to be your offensive line coach.
Come on, you getting these guys to come to Tuscaloosa, bro.
It's the culture rehab. That's what they call it now. The Alabama culture rehab. You go to Alabama, rehab your career. Look at Steve Sarkisian. People forgot Sarkisian kind of flamed out.
Texas.
Now he's the head coach of Texas. You go there, Lane Kiffin, all these guys that come in, they rehab their careers, have success, and go on their merry way back to success.
They're having success now. You're right, most definitely.
So it's interesting.
Let's move on to the NFL a little bit, man. Let's get back in there. We had some quarterbacks being named starters today. Most notably, our guy Teddy Bridgewater, man. What are we thinking about Teddy?
Teddy Two Glove, man. I'm excited for him. He's been through a lot. Even going back to the Vikings, how that whole situation played out, and how he gets hurt and let go, and then they go and sign Kirk Cousins for all this money, and now he has to kind of bounce around the Panthers. I'm just glad he's kind of in a spot where I think he's going to succeed. I mean, they have a great young receiving core, good young bat with Javonte Williams. So I'm really excited to see what Teddy does. And then especially on the defensive side of the ball, they're getting healthy with Bradley Chubb, Von Miller, those guys. So I'm excited for Teddy.
Fangio's a really good defensive coach, and I think he's starting to build his defense. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
They still need some. Yeah, Surtain. They need like a guy in the middle though. They need like a linebacker.
Yeah,
they need the heart of their D. What's that, Mark?
I said Von Miller can't hold it down as the leader no more on that team.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, Teddy's definitely a good look. A good solid vet that knows what he's doing. He can get it out to the playmakers for Denver.
Yeah,
they're definitely a threat this year.
Man,
it's gonna be an interesting year for them. That division is interesting. A lot of you got the Chargers, within the Raiders. See what they're doing there with the Chiefs, of course. So then with Chargers getting back healthy with Bosa, being healthy this year. Derwin James back. Derwin James
he looks like the best I've ever seen him look. I don't know what did they shoot him in his knee with something? Or?
He's healthy, bro. He's healthy. He
looks, bro, like he was locking up like Keenan Allen, like as a 6'3" safety, locking up.
And then they did joint practices, and he locks up Kittle with the 49ers.
Mm-hmm.
In my opinion, a healthy Derwin James is a top 5 player in the league, not just defender. He's a top 5 player in the league. There's very few people who can do what he can do when he's healthy. I think, if I'm not mistaken, he went All Pro rookie year. As an example, who does that? Who goes All Pro rookie year? So he's one of my favorite players. I'm so excited that he's healthy again. He's had some rough breaks early in the season these last couple of years. So I'm really excited to watch him with that defense. And then Asante Samuel had a pick. So they got a good secondary with Chris Harris, those guys. So I'm excited to see what the Chargers do this year. Them kind of bouncing back and being healthy. I hate Anthony Lynn is gone.
He's a good coordinator, man.
He's a good guy, man. So I hate he's gone, but I'm excited for the Chargers this year.
Man, let me go back to the Broncos for a second, just to look at their weapons, dog. They got Jerry Jeudy, they got KJ Hamler, they got Noah Fant at tight end.
Cortland Sutton.
They got Cortland Sutton coming back.
KJ Hamler.
All they got to do is give Teddy a little bit of time. Mm-hmm. Teddy does not throw picks, and Teddy finds the open guy. So I wouldn't be surprised if Teddy had the best year of his career if he can be protected. If he can be protected, I don't see. And it looks like he can't. They are being protected because he did good. Andrew Lock did good.
Yeah. I agree.
They both were good. They both did really good. So I think you pick Teddy Bridgewater. Obviously, he probably edged out Drew Lock a little bit, maybe in practice, but I think you're happy with what you have at quarterback. Either way it goes.
And I think this is the best thing for Drew Lock is to learn from somebody like that. Yeah. He kind of got thrown into the fire early. Yeah. He didn't really have a chance to kind of learn. I don't think he was ready to be thrown in the fire the way he was. So I think this would be good to watch somebody like Teddy operate. Because this has about 8, 9, 10 for Teddy. He's been in for a while now. So
I think maybe 7 or 8. I think year 8, 7 or 8. Yeah, you're right.
You know what I'm saying? So he's been in there for a while. So he, at this point, he's ran 5, 6 different systems. He knows the calls. He knows where to go at football. And then, like you said, he has a ton of weapons. You can't really blitz them a lot or leave one-on-one because somebody's going to be open. And Noah Fant is one of the really good young tight ends in the league that's growing. And then with Javonte Williams, the running back from North Carolina they drafted, he's looked great in preseason. He looks like he's been in the league already. So I'm excited to watch that young team. That's definitely a Madden team right there with the Broncos.
Definitely. And lastly, man, I know we're running up against it. We're almost at an hour. That's pretty much what we do every week. So let's talk about, what do you guys feel about Andy Dalton starting over Justin Fields? Is that what are your thoughts on that, man? Because I feel like you're not going to get any more out of Andy Dalton than you would get out of Justin Fields, and I feel like your team kind of sees that. Your team sees that, right? You're on your last leg if you're Nagy. You're on your last leg. Maybe you don't think he's ready from a playbook standpoint. That might be it. Maybe you haven't really maybe Andy handles the playbook better, and you can really open it up with Andy because he knows a lot more, from that standpoint. Maybe he feels like Justin needs a few weeks in the playbook into the regular season, see Andy play a little bit, see some of the exotic blitzes, and then maybe by week 3 or 4 he's ready to go. What do you guys think?
Man, I think it's a mistake pretty much for basically the reasons you said. We all know Andy Dalton came in with a $10 million contract. So, money speaks a lot in the professional ranks. So just from the money alone, he was going to start. But I believe, like you said, you're not going to get much more of a difference from Andy Dalton from a rookie Justin Fields. Andy Dalton's on the downside of his career. Let's all be real about that. And even if Justin's not grasping the playbook, we all know these different organizations that have cracked down on the playbook to lessen the load on these type of players. And just to go back on the coach's point, man, y'all gave up so much just to go get Mitchell Trubisky, who y'all released, and y'all just drafted another quarterback in the first round. So it's go time now. It's no time to waste. So
and I don't think Mitchell Trubisky was a bad quarterback, man. I just think he didn't he get them like close to the playoffs one year?
He got 2 playoffs.
He got him to the playoffs a couple of years, right? Yeah. So I think Mitch for him to be a backup to Josh Allen, I don't think if you're the Bills, I don't think you could ask for anything more than that. I think
if like you said, Tyler, if the plan is to eventually give it to Justin Fields, I'm okay with that. And like Marcus said, kind of see some of those things. I'm okay with that because same thing kind of happened with Lamar, same thing happened with Mahomes, where they kind of had a chance to watch it, get a feel, be a part of the game plans, and then they kind of got their shot. So if that's the plan, I'm okay with it. Now, if the plan is like, okay, we're on with Andy all season unless he gets hurt, that's terrible because he has too much talent. Justin Fields has too much talent to be a backup.
Right.
He's clearly the guy
good.
That the city, the team is a different energy. Even watching those games is a different energy when he comes into the game for everybody involved compared to Andy Dalton. And I think, like y'all both said, Andy Dalton, he's had his time. He's been there. If you couldn't do it last year with the Cowboys, with the receivers and the running back that you had last year, and you couldn't take them to elevate them to be a 10-win team, you can't do it. I'm sorry, you just can't, because you got less weapons in Chicago. You got a worse offensive line in Chicago. So where is this?
Something just came to mind when you were talking about that. You know how usually rookie quarterbacks, they know how to their way of getting out of trouble is scrambling, right? Is scrambling to make a play, maybe getting 5 yards and getting down or getting out of bounds. I think not on the Justin Fields part. I think that's why he should start, because even if you don't know the playbook and you don't know all that, like he still can make
something happen.
He can shake a tackle. He can get out on the edge. You're on mute, Marcus. If you can get out on the edge, you know what I mean, of the defense, you got a shot to make a play. I think Trevor Lawrence kind of needs to understand that a little bit more, protect himself when he does run, but realize that, dude, you're mobile, bro. You can run 60 yards. You know what I'm saying? Like you're fast. Like remember that you don't have to stick in the pocket. It's gonna be this year, dog. You ain't gonna be able to stay in the pocket unless you don't want to get crushed. You need to be able to do the little scramble drill, get out the pocket, get out on the edge, and go make a play like he did when he scrambled. Right? I'd like him to get out of bounds or get down.
Yeah, but that was a tough. It looked like it was
on his knee.
The bang looked quick because he took almost a shot to the head on that one.
Yeah. So
I want to see Trevor get a little more weight on him. He seems like
he's little.
He's thin. He's very. I don't know if it's because of the shoulder thing, so he hasn't been able to like lift weights and kind of bulk up or what, but he looks very thin in that jersey, man. That also has me a little concerned with him. The wrong hit, like the hit Justin Fields took, that might have put Trevor out for a minute.
Yeah, and I like what I did see from Trevor, like when you get him on the run and you get him, like the dude is accurate, and he has the arm talent to make every throw, and I see he does, like that's why like a lot of it keeps me optimistic. If the worst thing that he does, which a lot of rookie quarterbacks do, is hold the ball too long because you're trying to make a play so bad, you're holding the ball too long, and that internal clock doesn't go off because you don't have a lot of time in the NFL like you do anywhere else, right? So I think that's something that they're teaching him now. He's going through it now. Because he didn't, like, you saw the first game, he held it way too long, too many times. You saw him do it a little bit at the beginning of the game. He held the ball, he took a sack, and then you start to see him kind of, okay, let me get out because it seemed like something had to go off in his head, like, oh crap, I could run. You know what I mean? And that's kind of like what happened. He was like, oh shit, I got 10 yards of space here. Let me just run.
And it was third down, which was
the
best part about that.
He needs to realize in the league, it's not always going to be there. You're going to have to use all your intangibles to be great. It's not going to be pretty, right? Exactly.
Oh, you gotta utilize everything.
Especially with this roster, if they don't make it any better. So, but yeah, man,
we're looking at the schedule because let's see who they kick it off.
Their first 5 games they're decent. I mean, up until they get to Denver, I feel like Denver is gonna be rough on their defense.
What y'all think about Zach Wilson, real quick? What did y'all think about his last game? I was thoroughly impressed.
To me, yeah, I am, and that's the weird part about it.
I have to admit it too. I was a little impressed because I did not like his ass.
No, I didn't because
I did not.
Yeah,
I thought he was overrated as hell.
Yeah,
but I will say he made some throws where I was like, okay, Zach, okay, I'll give you your props. Especially when he was able to move around, change his shoulders.
He looked like he knew what he was doing.
Yeah, his throwing trajectory, he looked comfortable.
He's comfortable. He looks so like. And like sometimes, and maybe that's what they saw when coming out, but you don't really know until they get on the field. But like
you did, because
everything I've seen him do, like practice, game, like he just looks cool as a cucumber. He knows when to break the pocket to go on the run, and you know what I mean, and flick it. And he could flick it.
He could flick.
So
yeah, I gotta admit, he was impressed. Now the thing is, he's in his own division. He's going to see some very tough defenses with the Dolphins defense, with the Patriots defense, even with the Titans. I mean not the Titans, but the Bills. With the Bills, you're going to see some very tough defenses.
Tight coverage,
man-to-man, cover 1, cover 0. You got some really good corners over there, really good secondary. So I want to see if that translates because Bill Belichick, Brian Flores, and Sean McDermott, that's a slaughterhouse.
The good thing about Trevor, you know what's a good antidote? You get Houston week 1.
It is.
That's about as good as an antidote as you're gonna get.
Win.
If he can get some confidence in that game, because you're gonna their wide receivers are gonna get open. Marvin Jones is gonna get open. Chark's gonna get open. Chark hasn't played all preseason, bro. Like. So
yeah, I heard he had hand surgery or something like that.
Yeah,
right?
he like hurt his pinky or something like that. But like DJ Chark always gets open. He's never like locked up. You know what I mean? Like he might be locked up for a certain part of the game, but you're gonna get one play where he's gonna break deep and he's gonna be open by like 5 yards.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like Trevor, if he sees that, he can make that throw, and then boom, spark play and everything else. Tavon Austin, I think right now. He's going to be your obviously Laviska is going to play different things, but like if you need speed on the field. So I think Tavon Austin is going to get a lot of playing time early in different sets. So not to get back into that, but I think so. I just think that their schedule sets up okay for him to have, you're not playing the Saints defense. You're not playing who'd they play week 1 or their first preseason game? And they were just getting
Browns.
The Browns, bro. The thing about the Browns, bro, is
they are good. Yeah.
The same thing the Browns did to the Jaguars in that game. They did the next team the next week. They did the same thing. Mauled them. Coverage was clamped tight.
On paper, the Browns have the best roster in the NFL.
They're so deep.
Yeah.
On paper, they have the best roster in the NFL.
So
from top to bottom, it looks really good.
He started both of those games without his full starting offensive line. So you're kind of pretty much throwing him. You threw him to the Wolves. I think if Urban Meyer didn't get that, you threw him to the Wolves them first 2 games, dog, because they didn't have Myles Garrett. So that just would have been ugly.
And that's why I was just about to say, because week 2 and week 3, I mean, you see the Broncos, so you're going to see Von Miller and Bradley Chubb week 2. And then week 3, you see the Cardinals, so you got J.J. Watt and Chandler Jones. So
Jawan Taylor, can I just say he's thoroughly terrible? You need to get him. You need to get him the fuck off the field.
They got some early tests for those tackles very, very early. I mean, that Cardinals Broncos back to back. That's two really physical. And the Cardinals defense with Zayden Collins, Isaiah Simmons right behind though with J.J. Watt and Chandler Jones. And then Buda Baker, and then Byron Murphy. That's gonna be.
But you don't have. Yeah, you want Jawan. You want Jawan Taylor to play better, and you want to get him off the field, but you don't have anybody to replace him.
There's nothing.
So
he's the best.
Cam Robinson. I'm honestly, he's played really. In just the stuff that I've seen, he's played really well. He's played solid, man. He hasn't. He gave up. I think he gave up one play in the Browns game. But after that, what's that? Yeah, Trevor held the ball, but like other than that, I didn't see him get any pressures in that Browns game so I like what Cam's doing, and you need that backside, you need that left tackle. So good stuff, man. We appreciate you guys for joining us. It's been a great show. Touched on we got to interview Aaron Hester, great kid, man. We're really excited about this Friday, getting to see him Fletcher versus Sandalwood. Rivalry there, so you got good quarterback play for Sandalwood. I think Chris Calhoun, he's a Connecticut commit, really good mobile quarterback. So, and Aaron Hester is a really good defensive end / linebacker in his own right. So that'll be a great matchup there. Really excited about football this Friday, man. Just football all across the landscape. Really excited, man. So we thank you guys for joining us. We had some really good viewership today, so really happy about that. Thank you guys for watching. It really means a lot. Go like and subscribe and share on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, all that. We really appreciate it. But yeah, we good, man. That's it for today. We appreciate you guys. We out.
Yes, sir. Y'all be safe.
Yes, sir. Appreciate y'all.